Welcome to the CEO boardroom. This is for those who came for clarity in your actions, who are ready to be empowered for your choices, and who are ready to take ownership for your direction. So I'm live on in the Habits group as well as on Zoom. So please don't think that I'm reading. It's just that I have two cameras on. So I appreciate everybody for coming in. So let's get in it. Today we are talking about mindset. So I know that it can be frustrating or overwhelming when you write your goals down and month after month passes with no achievement in sight. So I want to help you to understand what is holding you back. And today, in the CEO boardroom, we're going to unpack two common things that are stifling, stopping, or holding you hostage to a lack of personal success. Grab a pen and paper so you don't miss these tips. Who am I? I am Rachel L. Gary, and I help goal setters that are burned out or frustrated by providing a strategy to develop habits that are needed. One more time, that are needed to reach the goal of being the CEO of your life. And I want to make sure that we clarify once again, what is being a CEO of your life? Is you having clarity of your actions, when you are empowered by your choices, and when you are taking ownership for your direction. Because nothing outside of you controls you. So let's unpack the roadblocks that stifle, stop, and are in the way of your goals. Two things: distractions and limiting beliefs. So let's dive into distractions. Distractions can be anything from things in your life, things in your children's lives, your family's lives, or with your careers. And with those distractions, I'm going to give a couple of tips that will hopefully help you in the future limit or get rid of things that are stopping you from reaching a goal in 2024. Because there's nothing in our way when we are taking ownership of our lives. So, distractions of kids and events. So I'm not talking about the distraction of just someone knocking on your door. I'm talking about the distractions that stop you in your tracks from doing what you know is necessary for you to be successful. Events, things with your family, over demands at work, you not structuring your life properly. And that's what we're going to talk about, how to get rid of that distraction. So when you're looking to get rid of a distraction, this is all about starting off with understanding the framework of your day. You only got 24 hours. And if you only have 24 hours, you haven't utilized that 24 hours when you're clear in your actions, when you are empowered by your choices, and when you own your direction, you're able to do what I am going to suggest. As long as you are not putting anything that's outside of you for the reason why you can't get anything out of your way. So the tip is understanding your 24-hour day and positioning things in three ways. Things that propel you forward, things that leave you stagnant, and things that are on your plate but you don't know why. Why those three things? Because that allows you to prioritize your life and prioritize your day. If you have things that are propelling you forward, they have a higher priority than things that are just leaving you stagnant. And things that will leave you stagnant are things like you're taking care of bills, you're taking care of just your everyday activities, just for you to just get things done. Those are the things that just leaving you stagnant. Things that are propelling you forward are things like workshops, webinars, trainings, development, books, activities that are enhancing your life or are going to help you achieve your goal. As we talked about last week, about owning your life. And when you own your life, you take the necessary actions to get the needed help to be able to be more successful. So when you're looking at things that are propelling you forward, that is when you determine that those are of higher priority. And you put them in your day accordingly. Now, I'm going to give you guys a tip about kid distractions. And I'm not talking about kids running around the house, because kids running around the house can be a distraction. However, I'm going to say something, and this might not sit well with everyone. You can't control your kids. You can teach your kids how to have respect for time and have respect for themselves and respect for the activities that are going on around them. Set them up for success early. At this point, we're talking about things that have already taken place. So how do you stop it today? For them from distracting you from saying you want to read a book. What you do to start eliminate those distractions is have a conversation. Get your family involved. Hey, I'm going to be doing some things that are going to better our future. And I'm going to need your help to do that. Screaming and hollering at the kids never get them to do what you want them to do. And I know that we all know it. So what I would say is that when you have that conversation and you give them the opportunity to understand that you are trying to do this, or this, it allows them to be part of your next level. As far as activities, I know that as parents, we have our children have activities that they tell us about the last minute. How to get rid of that distraction? Call the school ahead of time and ask them for a list of activities. Schools do not just throw things on you. They have to put it in their calendars, their budgets, and allocate time and resources for that. So what I am giving you is information on how for you to own your time. And as a CEO, what do we have? Clarity in our actions. We're empowered by our choices, and we own our direction. And when you're owning your direction, you're owning the things that are within your control, which is everything that is happening to you. So the last thing for distractions is setting boundaries. Boundaries of your time, boundaries of your space. I know it's difficult to do this when you have a job. However, depending on what type of job you have, you can have conversations with your team if you're in management, your boss if you report to someone and you have time that they're impeding upon. Talk to them. Explain to them that, hey, these are the times when I'm not going to be available because I have X, Y, and Z to do. Biggest thing, guys, is communicating that information. The more you communicate it, the more people know that you have boundaries. Boundaries mean that they're not negotiable boundaries. On a day-to-day basis, they don't change. When you're taking ownership of your life, you have to be aligned with your goals. Your goal is here. Every activity you have is building you up to achieving that goal. And the only way to achieve that goal is by doing the necessary things that are going to help you be successful. Now, let's talk about the second thing, limiting beliefs. We're going to take a breath here. Because a limiting belief is something that you believe that either you believe about you, about the world, or about things in your circle. The word is believe. And 9 times out of 10 is a not truth belief. I want to say it again. It's a belief that isn't true. When we limit ourselves, and it's a limit that we do to ourselves, we tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that other people are better than us, or that we're not worthy of something. I know you're asking yourself, why would someone say that to themselves? When you're in the heat of the moment, it goes to you owning your thoughts. If you take a moment to think about what you're saying, because what you say to yourself matters way more than what you say to anybody else. And we're the hardest on ourselves, which we should be. The harder we are on ourselves, the easier the world is. However, tearing ourselves down should never be one of the things that we are doing. It impedes our success. It stops, stifles, and steals our abilities to achieve a goal. Can you think about that? It's not a boss outside of you. It's not the person who's doing something to you. It's really about what you're doing to yourself. Today, we're going to start dispelling some of those limiting beliefs. So, I have 5 things some limiting beliefs that I hear often. Now, I'm going to read these because I want to make sure that I get every bit of the information. Because this piece of information is going to help you be wildly successful. So I'm only going to speak about one. So let's see if I can get that. All right. And this is one that I hear often. And I said, I'm usually not a person who reads. When I'm coming to talk to you guys, I'm prepared. Because I'm going to give you information that I know. Now, even though I know these, I want to read it because this I'm going to give you guys. So we're going to talk about it in a couple of minutes about the 7-day challenge. But these limiting beliefs, I want to make sure I give you guys a copy. Everybody who joins the 7-day challenge will get a copy of this. But this is one limiting belief. I'm going to do 2 of 5. This is something that we say to ourselves. Others are better than me, so why bother trying? We have to replace it. And this is an affirmation for replacing it. I am focused on my own growth and progress, and I can continually improve and achieve my goals. I want to interject this quote from Maya Angelou. And this is a quote that I hold dear. Comparison is an act of violence against the self. Now, the great Maya Angelou, when I first heard this, I'm going to tell you I read it twice. So to you, I'm going to read it twice. Comparison is the act of violence against the self. Now, why does she say violence against the self? Because you're tearing yourself down from internally. We're not worried about anybody else. The only person that we can control is us. Remember, I just said a couple of moments ago, we can't control our kids. Not because we're not good parents, because they are individuals who have their own minds. We can teach, guide, and help them, but at the end of the day, they do exactly what they want to do. The second that you realize that every individual is going to do what they want to do, it allows you to take control of what you want to do and how you want to grow and get better and reach goals that are going to help you have success financially, spiritually, and physically. The second quote I want to bring of limiting beliefs. I'll never be happy, successful, or fulfilled. This is something I have heard several times. So these 5 are from conversations that I've had in my mentorship group. When I ask people to tell me about what thoughts they have that are negative. And this is what I came up. As a CEO, I have the power to create my own happiness, success, and fulfillment through my actions and my choices. Remember, I hold the power. Nothing external of me can affect how I think, how I believe, and what I do with my life. So those are 2 of the 5 that I'm going to give you guys with the 7-day challenge. And the reason why those 2 are so important to me, because I hear it often. And when you're limiting your beliefs, it makes it more difficult for you to move from being external of yourself. Because we're blaming other people, other places, and other things. To when you internalize that I control my thoughts, I control my actions, I control the things that are going on within my life. The second you take ownership of your life, things become different. You're able to elevate. You're able to achieve goals. Just like in the story that if you guys watched my previous video about being a CEO, which I hope you watch before you jump into mindset. Because in there I say this. In January of 2004, I became the CEO of my life. And from that day forward, and we're talking about 20 years later, I have incrementally gone from being a minimum wage earner to where I am a multi-millionaire today. So I don't sit before you telling you things that are in theory. I don't talk in theory. I talk in what I've done, what I've seen, what I've experienced, and how I have helped other individuals do the same thing. So now to the 7-day challenge. So the 7-day challenge is really about helping you with those distractions and limiting beliefs in this way. It's going to help you build the commitment that is going to be needed for your success. It's going to ask you to be consistent, which is required when you're taking ownership of your life, so you can be confident in you. And with that, as I said, I'm going to give you those 5 key things affirmations that will help you dispel some of the limiting beliefs that you have heard, seen, or have said to yourself. Now, I hope that this helps one individual have more success in their journey of being the CEO of their lives. If you want to know how to work with me, please, you can reach out to me via DM, or you can click the link that's in my bio if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, or if you're on YouTube. I am here to help, support, and guide individuals just like you who are ready to achieve a goal. Until next week, I want you guys to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You, CEO.